And so this project is about transforming end-of-life tires into different valuable products with a very good circularity. So we're taking end-of-life tires and repurposing them in a way, in a chemical manner, into what we call recovered carbon black, which is one of components of tires themselves, which shows the perfect circularity of that process, coming from tires and going back to tires. And is also producing liquid hydrocarbon, green liquid hydrocarbon that would end up in chemicals or in marine fuels.
So let's say we will take the old tires, and we will recycle them into fuel for transport or into new tires, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So when is expected this project will begin the operations, and which will be the capacity of that?
Operation is scheduled end of 2023 to start up, and we expect to be in commercial operation early 2024. We are processing 73,000 tons of end-of-life tires per year. So that will make it one of the largest plant facilities in the world. The production is around 15% of this product is the wire that are in the tires and that you also recycle into the metal industry. And then the rest is evenly split between the carbon black that goes back to the tires and the liquid hydrocarbon going to chemicals or transportation fuels.
Why Wastefront choose the Port of Sunderland for this project?
So the Port of Sunderland, first of all, it's a port, so that allows for easy logistics. One of the big characteristics or features of this project, Dimitris, is that we wanted it to be at industrial scale. Energy transition will only work if you have projects that are at industrial scale. And we wanted that to be the case for the project in Sunderland. That meant that we had to have a very good logistics so that our products can go wherever the market is leading, or wherever the market is the most interesting. Our off-taker partner on the liquid hydrocarbon side, Vitol, one of the largest oil traders in the world, needed this flexibility of a port to be able to export by barge or to transport by barge products. So the port was important. Then in this area of Sunderland, we found a very good support from the authorities. The Port of Sunderland has been incredibly supportive of this initiative, and the Council of Sunderland also. So we found the right context, if you want, in terms of support of the project. And lastly, it is an area that has a history of industry, very good industry. You have a lot of competences. There's a need to reinvent this industry in a way, and we're participating in this dynamic.
I would like to ask you, Vianney, is there any specific type of tires that will be recycled in this project, or any sort of tire will be recycled?
Any sort of tires will be recycled. We keep track of what we will recycle because traceability is a key in the energy transition. You need to be sure of the environmental footprint that you are having. So we will keep track of the type of tires that we process, but any tire can be processed in our system.
I know your experience. You have been working as a top executive in large companies like Shell and other oil companies. Based on this experience that you've got from your background, what do you think about the necessity, about the importance of the energy transition? And which way do you believe is the quickest one, is the best one for the UK to achieve its net zero goals?
That's a good question and a very broad one. So I'll take it by pieces. So first of all, the oil and gas kind of my origin in oil and gas. I think what I've learned there, I think a lot can be applied in the energy transition in the new energy. Oil and gas companies have mastered over decades, over 100 years, the value chain, the energy value chain. They know how to supply a customer efficiently, at scale, reliably, and they have mastered technologies. So there's a lot of things we can emulate from the oil and gas experience. Now, they were with a paradigm of matching an ever-growing demand with whatever resources would be available. That was their paradigm on the cheapest way possible. Now, our paradigm as new energy players is matching the demand with an extreme care on the resources. Not emitting greenhouse gases and not polluting with our wastes. So the paradigm is different, but the type of experience and the type of implementation of projects, if you want, is the same. So I think we can learn a lot from the oil and gas in terms of project execution and value chain creation. And that I go to the second part of your question, what is then to be done to accelerate the energy transition? I think in the end, customers are the same. Okay, so they're used to receive a certain quality of products, certain reliability. With a certain reliability, you need to continue doing the same. So for the energy transition to be successful, you need to have players at scale that replace the oil and gas players or work with them and continue to supply those products in a seamless manner. And we need to evolve from technology-centered project to value chain-centered projects. For that, what you need at every country, you need a stable regulatory context. I think we have that in the UK, a good regulatory context favoring both greenhouse gas reduction and waste recycling, which are the two big elements, if you want, of this equation. You have that in the EU also, you have that in California. So these are countries where you'll see projects coming very fast because of the stability of the regulatory pressure. You need to be clever with the regulation so that you don't favor one pathway unfairly. That has been the case in at the origin of sustainable energy or biofuels, etc. You had some pathways that were favored a little bit artificially, and the backfiring. You had this problem with food being used for fuel while they could be used for food. And that because the regulation was not targeting the right target. You need to be close to your final objective in your regulation. Your final objective is to reduce greenhouse gas and improve recycling and reduce waste. If in your regulation, this is your driver, you'll get there. Companies like ours will use that drive to make it happen and bridge gaps, in our case, between waste tires and demand for sustainable products. So regulatory context is very important. And then each country will have its own, strengths and weaknesses, and you have to take that into account still. Like Brazil has a lot of sugarcane. Okay, they can use that. You wouldn't do that in the UK. So you have to adapt a little bit to your context. But I think we're getting there anyway, Dimitris, because of the worldwide concern. And I think the paradigm is now very clear. The shift in paradigm is clear that energy transition now is unstoppable.